Hello class, again, Garcia here, and let's pick up. I left up at slide number 7. Slide number 7 looks like it's tree growth versus years. So years is down here at the bottom, and height, so how much it grew. And you have the following data. Year 0, it grew 8. It was 8 feet tall. It didn't grow. It's 8 feet tall. At year 2, it's 10 feet tall. So I'm going to plot those points on this graph. Okay, for example, at year 0, it's 8 feet tall. That's how high it is. At year 2 is 10 feet tall. At year 3 is, or year 4 is 12 feet tall. All right, so on and on. Let me fill those on real. All right, so notice we skip all the way to 10 years, and then 16 years is all the way here. At 16 years is 24 feet tall. So at 16 is 24. And at 20 is 28, so it's right here. All right, so I want to join all those points with a straight line, and notice it's a line. All right, so this line crosses the y-axis at 8. So that's your B, that's your y-intercept. That's when it crosses the y-axis, and it happens to be at 8. All right, so the slope is just rise over run. So these are nice intersection. So it changed from 10 to 12. It changed by 2 over from 2 to 4 is 2. It's not over 1. So it went up 2 and we run 2. So the rise is 2, the run is 2. So but we always, all right, so it grew 2 feet in 2 years. 2 feet in 2 years. But we don't say or in 2 years. We say it in 1 year. So it grew 1 feet in 1 year. So it's the same thing as 2 feet in 2 years, or you grew 3 years in 3 feet in 3 years, but we just say it grew, we use the unit. So we grew 1 feet every year. All right, so let's see. So we can pick any point. So let's see, let's pick this one. It was 12 feet, and the next time we see it's going to be 18. So the difference here is going to be 6. All right, so the rise is rise over run, and that's the same thing as change in y over change in x. So it changed from 12 to 18, it changed by 6, and the length of time was from year 4 to year 10. That also changed by 6. So the slope is 6 over 6, so it changed, it's 6 feet tall in 6 years. So it changed by 6 feet in 6 years, but we just don't say it grew 6 feet in 6 years. We say it grew 1 feet in 1 year. So we always simplify. So the slope is 1 per year. Okay, so 1 over 1 is just 1. And then we got to get into this form, which is slope-intercept form. And the equation, there's an equal sign. The slope is 1, x, and then plus the initial value, which is 8. So when x is 0, this is your y-intercept. That's your initial value, so that's 8. Okay, so that's how you solve that one. In the description, you could say like this tree is growing 1 foot per year, and at year 0 it was like super tall. We bought it at the store, and we bought an 8-foot tall tree. Okay, so this is slide number. Okay, so slide number 8. You're giving this line. Okay, so this line, and it's hours. In miles. So miles traveled, it looks like. Okay, and then let's see. All right, so let's see. In 0, so reading this line, it looks like in 0 hours you traveled no miles. So that's this point right here. So we traveled 0 miles. In year 1, I'm sorry, in hour 1, so after 1 hour, we traveled 50 miles. So we put 50 here. In 2 hours, this is the hours, in 2 hours, we traveled 100 miles. So that's 100 miles. In 4 hours, we traveled 200. So in 4 hours, we traveled 200. Okay, so let me finish the rest. Okay, so in 4 hours, you traveled 200. It wasn't 20, it was 200. Okay, so those are all the points. And let's see, what is this changing by? So rise over run, it's hard to kind of see. So we're just going to do the quick way, just by looking at the table. What is the change in y over the change in x? So these are the y's. These are the miles traveled. All right, let's see. So the change from one to the other one is changing by 50. So it's changing by 50. So the change in y is 50, and we're going to use the first one. From 0 to 50 is 50, and then from 0 hours to 1, it changed by 1. So the slope is 50. So it's a number. It's not 50x, it's just 50. Not 50x, just 50. It's a number. So it's changing 50 miles per hour. All right, the y-intercept, you can look at the table. When x is 0, that's your y-intercept. And you can look at it. It crosses the y-axis at 0. All right, so your y-intercept is 0, and you just put it all together. The equation is y is equal to 50 every hour. How many hours? Well, it depends. Well, if you want 1, 2, then we add 50 plus 50 2 times. 3 is 50 plus 50 plus 50 3 times, and plus 0. We don't put 0. So that's the equation. And a little description of what's happening is it looks like you're just going 50 miles per hour. Okay, so the description here is you're traveling 50 miles per hour. All right, we got something similar here. There's no graph, there's no table, so you're gonna have to fill that out based on this plumbing repair cost. So depending on how many hours, that's how much it's gonna cost you to repair your plumbing. Okay, so that's when there's a leak in the house. Okay, so it looks like Mario's Plumbing Services charges 40 bucks to make a house call. So they show up to your house and they charge you 40 bucks just to look at your mess of water, and then plus $25 an hour. So if he's there for 0 hours, he's going to charge you how much? He's going to charge you not 40 plus 25, but just 40 bucks to look at your problem. And then if he's there for 1 hour, it's 40 plus 25. 40 plus 25 is 65, and 65 plus another 25 is 90. Okay, so 90 plus 25, so 115. And so 115 plus 25 is 130. No, I'm sorry. I said 130. I meant 140. So it's 140. Okay. And then the last one, 140 plus 25 is 165. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and plot those points real quick. And they're hard to see. Year 2, I'm sorry, at 2 hours, you're going to pay 90. So we just kind of rough it. If he's there for 3 hours, you're going to pay $115. If he's there for 4 hours, you're going to pay 140. So it's, and then after 5 hours, he's going to charge you 165. So that's kind of like that. Okay, if we put a line, if you join all those points, just do the best you can. Okay, we have your y-intercept. Your y-intercept happens at 40. Okay, so it tells you when you're there for 0 hours, or he's there for 0 hours, he's going to charge you not free, it's going to be 40. So that's your y-intercept. B is your y-intercept. When does this line crosses the y-axis? So it's at 40. And your slope is a number. We're not going to do rise over run. We are going to do rise over run, but we're going to do it the easy way. All right, we're going to see what's this y changing relative to the x. So it's changing from 25, from 40 to 65 is changed by 25, and from 0 to 1 it changed by 1. All right, so it actually tells you it changes is charging you $25 per hour, so 25 over 1 hour. Okay, so it's charging 25 over 1 hour, so the slope is 25. And then we just put the slope and the y-intercept on this equation. So this is going to be 25x plus your initial value that he's going to charge is going to be 40. Okay, so that's the equation for number 9. Okay, for question number 10, you're just being provided this graph. Okay, so you're going to have to fill in the table. And let's see, it looks like you're driving a certain number of miles, so 100, 200, and then you're using up gas. This graph tells you that if you drive 100 miles, you waste 4 gallons. So let's fill that in. If you drive 0 miles, you don't waste any gas. So that's 0. If you drive 50 miles, so that's between 0 and 100, you waste 2 gallons of gas. If you drive 200 miles, you are going to use 8 gallons of gas. So that's, and if you drive 250 miles, you're going to use 10 miles or 10 gallons of gas. And this one looks like it's just 6. All right, so let's do the easy way. What is this changing by? So let's do the change in y. So the slope is what is changing the y, the y is changing by how many units versus the change in x. So it looks like from 0 to 2 it changed by 2, and from 0 to 50 miles it changed by 50. All right, so it looks like we use 2 gallons for every 50 miles driven. We always simplify, so this is the same thing as we use 1 gallon for 25 miles driven. So this is your slope. It's a number, 1 gallon for every 25 miles. So the slope is 1 over 25. Okay, it's a fraction. Okay, all right, so the y-intercept, when x is 0, y is 0. Okay, so you can look at this table. So it looks like when we've driven 0 miles, we used 0 gallons of gas. So this is going to be 0. And we just put it all together in an equation. So y is equal to 1/25 x plus 0. No, we don't write 0. You're not 15 plus 0 years old. Nice to meet you. We never say that. Okay. All right. So the description is, you could just say, for description, I use up 1 gallon for every 25 miles driven. All right. So that's number 10. Okay, for number 11, looks like there's a person that can pay $48 for membership to the art museum and then go to the art museum for just $1 per visit. So 1 plus 1. Every time you visit, you're going to pay $1 and you're just going to pay $48. That's a one time. So this is going to be your initial value and this is your rate, $1. $1. So we want to write it into this equation just like you've been doing. This is the rate of change and this is going to be your initial value. So what is the maximum number of visits a member of the art museum can make for a total of $60? So let's see. The rate of change is $1 per visit, and I'm going to put V for visit. I'm not going to use X. So 1 plus 1. Every visit, I'm going to add 1 plus 1. That's 2 visits. That's 3 visits. That's 4 visits. So every time I visit, I'm going to repeatedly add $1. All right, so the initial value is 48. So plus 48. So this is money and more money, and this is total money. We're being told, what if the total cost was 60 bucks? So this is the total cost, 60. What's the number of visits that you can make? So we just got to solve for V. All right, there's one V. We didn't need to put the 1 in front of it, but it's there. Every visit we charge $1. All right, so we're going to solve for B, and V is on the right-hand side. So I'm going to subtract 48 from the right and 48 from the left. Plus $48 minus $48. So if you pay 48 and then they give it back, it's 0. So that's 0. We don't even write 0. So on the right hand side, we just got 1V. 1V. And 60 minus 48 is going to be 12. Okay, so that's the answer for number 11. 12 visits. So the question was, what is the maximum number of visits a member of the art museum can make for a total cost of 60 bucks? So it's going to be 12 visits for slide number. All right, so slide number 12. So same thing. These are linear equations. P is your initial value, and M is the slope. It's a number, not 1x or 3x or whatever, or 8x's. It's just a number. All right, so let's see. A person can pay $15 to the membership for a membership to the History Museum, and then go to the museum for $8 per visit. So if you go 1 time, you pay 8. If you go 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. So x is and then we're being asked to write an equation that shows a relationship between the number of visits, V, and the total cost. All right, so instead of Y, they want you to use the letter C. All right, so let's see. Your initial value is going to be 15 bucks. All right, so you pay money, so 15 bucks, and then your rate of change is just 8 plus 8 plus 8. Every time you visit the museum, you're going to pay 8 plus 8 plus 8. And they want you to use V instead of X for the visits. All right, so and my V looks a little bit different, so I'm going to put like that. Okay, so if there was 4 visits, V would be 4, and you would add 8 4 times. If V was 5, then you add 5 multiples of 8. Okay, all right, so instead of Y, they want you to use the letter C for cost. And that's it. You're just writing an equation on